Alex Prewitt is going to join us here in a few minutes, senior writer at Sports Illustrated. Colin Kaepernick is working out again. Mark Davis of the Raiders says they'd love to have him.
So sign him.
Well, let's see. I want to just get a few minutes here of reported details because Colin Kaepernick is now more publicly available, Stugotz. He was very quiet for a long time and then decided after much time to tell his story through Netflix, through his origin story with Nick Offerman as his father. And it was an artistic choice. I'm not sure it was the best choice for Colin Kaepernick to tell his story, but he will be telling it, I'm assuming, in coming years because he's become a symbol for something beyond football. And we will talk to Alex Prewitt about that in a second. But Bob just rushed in here, an emergency Bob alert, which usually scares us because he's the engineer. He's holding everything up. And when the Bob siren goes off, we all pay attention because he's going to be on the cover of Forbes in a couple of years. Bob ran in here and said, you guys forgot again about Mad Dog on First Take.
Doggy on a Wednesday. Every freaking Wednesday, we forget at 10 o'clock, it's Mad Dog Wednesdays.
This Wednesday for me, it was Mike being here because normally on Wednesdays, recently, Mike has not been here. It threw me off. It threw everything off.
No, but we've forgotten everything. It's not just that he looks like Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems. It's not just that. It's also that every week we forget that it's 10 a.m. and that Mad Dog is supposed to be on, even though it's damn near the highlight of all of our weeks.
I have to admit, like, things slip through the cracks around here. One of them, Stugotz, was something I emailed you about earlier this week. You could be golfing right now at Miami Beach Country Club with Lewis Hamilton and Tom Brady, although they said there is absolutely no chance you'd be allowed to talk to them. One of those things went through my inbox, slipped through the cracks. Now they're playing golf. Someone just tweeted a picture of them playing golf at Miami Beach Country Club, like 2 miles away from us.
Yeah.
And we're not there, Stugotz.
I know. I'm upset. I said I would do it, though. Like, I responded to you. You sent it to me. I said, I'm in as long as we can get Brady on.
But they said we can't get Brady on.
Well, I just love that one of the rules is Stugotz can play in our group, but don't look at anybody. Don't talk to anybody.
What fun is that? Play with Tom. You can't look at him.
Looking at Lewis Hamilton and Tom Brady, that sounds pretty fun.
Put it on the poll here, please, Whittingham. We can't go and put it on the poll with Billy because he's scampered out into the kitchen to do a live report. But please put it on the poll at LeBatard Show. Would you want to go golfing with Tom Brady and Lewis Hamilton if you were never allowed to speak?
Or look at them. I mean...
Let's check in with Billy in the kitchen. Billy, what do you have for us? Give us a breakdown here, the first half hour of what's happened here with Mad Dog.
Hey, Dan, it's Billy. I'm out here watching First Take. So when I walked in, what was going on was they were asking the question, was Steve Kerr out of line by saying Dylan Brooks was a dirty player? That was the question because of what happened yesterday. So then Mad Dog brought up the fact that Draymond Green kicked Steven Adams in the you-know-where not too long ago. So that came up. Then Stephen A. was saying that he was very upset about that, and then they were arguing whether or not that was on purpose or not. Stephen A. said there's no way to prove that Draymond Green did that on purpose. And then he said that there is no greater violation as a man than hitting another man in that area. Something that Stephen A. said. I don't know if you agree with that or not. Then they started talking about what's that?
The penis?
Yeah, there's no greater violation, according to Stephen A. Smith. Then they said that Stephen A. again accused LeBron of getting a stimulus package from the NBA when they suspended Draymond Green for a couple games of that series that led to them winning the NBA title. Then Mad Dog started saying that he is a dirty player. Stephen A. was saying he wasn't a dirty player. It was just that one time. And then Mad Dog said, what about that thing on Sunday? And then Stephen A. said, well, we're not talking about we're doing 2 things. And then Mad Dog said, I can give you 1,000 things if you gave me time. I could keep giving you things that would get him to be a dirty player. So then they were arguing about that for a little bit. And then they somehow started arguing about whether or not Draymond Green was a Hall of Famer. And Mad Dog proclaimed that he can't throw a ball into the ocean on a boat. That was about Draymond Green. So then They were saying he was not a Hall of Famer because he couldn't throw a ball in the ocean from a boat. Then Stephen A. said, what about Dennis Rodman? And then Mad Dog said that he could argue that. And then they started going back and forth on that. Then Mad Dog screamed, let's put Ben Wallace in the Hall of Fame. I don't know where that came from.
Also a defensive player.
Yeah, then they started arguing about how great Draymond Green is and if he's a difference maker. And Stephen A. said, if you put Draymond on the Knicks, would he be a factor, is what Chris Russo asked. Stephen A. said, probably. And then Mad Dog screamed at him they'd still only win 30 games. Then we moved on, and somehow J.B. Bickerstaff was mentioned. I think he's coming on the show later. Stephen A. said, J.B. Bickerstaff's joining. We can ask him. And then before he could even finish getting the question out, Mad Dog screamed, who I love, before he let him finish saying the question. So Mad Dog loves J.B. Bickerstaff. Then they started arguing about how everyone gets in the Hall of Fame. Mad Dog says that the NBA Hall of Fame or the Basketball Hall of Fame is a joke. And then Stephen A. said it is a bit sketchy. And then they started talking about Steven Adams again. And now we're on to the Celtics game. Back to you.
All right.
Action-packed.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for the update. We will return to you in a little bit. That was very exciting, everything that was happening out there. I saw in the background, I saw Hildy, and Stugotz is saying that his walk of shame to Hildy's desk needs to stop.
It has to stop right now, like today. I am tired of this. We have to have a better system. Almost every day, when I have to go to the bathroom, number 2, this is the system we have in place. I have to walk to Hildy. Now, it's not frequent, I don't frequently walk straight to Hildy to ask her anything. But when I start walking to Hildy, with a little pace,
A penguin walk?
Yeah, Hildy knows what it is I'm about to ask. And she'll never just hand me the hotel key. She'll make me ask for it because she wants to embarrass me. And essentially what I am telling her is, hey, I have to go take a dump. And there has to be a better system than that. Like,
Here.
Like someone just give me a key, and a key that works for more than 2 days,
I've
and a
given
key
you
that won't get erased.
Keys stop working after 2 days. We
No.
need to get better.
Private bathroom upstairs? What?
There's a hotel room up there, and every time I have to go, and Hildy starts laughing at me, and it's embarrassing. And then I go back when I'm done, 15 minutes later, and I hand her the key back. And we have to get a better system. This cannot be the system. I will not live by this system. I can't talk to Hildy. I walk by her. Like I'm ashamed of myself every single time I see her. Enough.
Hey, Dan, it's Billy. I'm in the kitchen where
Bill.
Hildy is also located. Hildy is laughing at this situation, which is kind of confirming the fact that I think she takes pleasure in the fact that she makes Stugotz walk an extra distance when he needs to do number 2. We can ask her if you'd like. She's right over there.
Yes, please go do
Hildy,
a go ahead
Hildy,
and
can you
do
come over?
do a sideline interview with Hildy there to get to the bottom of this. We have given Stugotz, I've given him 10 keys to this room, but he is right. He puts them near his credit card or his phone, and they go out and they only work for 2 or 3 days at a time.
Right.
And so, Billy, please make your way over to wherever Hildy is and ask all the pertinent questions that can get to the bottom of Stugotz's bottom.
Hey, Dan, it's Billy again. I'm here with Hildy now in this room situation. Do you have any questions for her? You want me to kind of just ask her?
Please do the interview. Did you hear what Stugotz was saying? That every day he's ashamed of going over there to ask. So I'll ask the questions if you don't want to, Billy, but I'd prefer for you to do it.
Oh, I'm happy to do it. I like Hildy. Hildy, are you aware every time that Stugotz comes over to you, he just needs to poop?
I wasn't until you guys brought it up to my attention. I thought he was going to go have some quiet time, have a meeting, take a call, and then you all mentioned
you
it,
just
and
confessed.
now it doesn't get out of my
Now
head.
you confessed.
Oh, you didn't know until today that's what he was
This
doing.
You guys
moment.
brought it up
no.
one time he asked, and you were
Jesus.
like, how do you feel that
my
he has to
God.
take a poop when he comes to see you?
I misread the
And then
room.
it's in my head.
I don't know that I believe this. I'm not going to call Hildy a liar, but I think that she knew because Stugotz is like deliberately slow sometimes, especially when we're going to start segments and stuff. Like he'll take his time. The only time he's in a rush is when something needs to get done. And if it's like, I need the hotel room key, it's like probably a 2.
You can be a groundbreaking interviewer on Sidelines, Billy, if you just call people liars when they answer your question.
No. I'm not saying liar. I'm just saying let's get a little more truth out of you. You know
All
what
right,
I mean?
is there more truth to be had there, Heidi?
No.
Heidi, that's
Hildy,
a fine.
Hildy.
He's
Fine.
on that
I keep
occasionally.
saying
He
that.
really wants to call
$25.
Hildy Heidi.
Yeah.
I've
Hildy
corrected
looks
him
like
like
that.
17
I know,
times
I've
on
done
that.
it 10 times.
Sometimes we
Story
make
of
a
my
mistake.
life.
Oh
It's
my
50
God.
the second time, actually. It's your second violation.
Thank you, Hildy. We appreciate it. Unless you've got anything, if you've got anything else there, Billy, please have at it.
No, that's it from the kitchen for
Okay.
now. Back to you.
See you, Heidi.
Go back into the First Take war room there and get us as much information as you can.
I thought she knew. There's always a pep in my step. Recently, I've been trying to do a little small talk with Heidi before I ask her for the key, and it doesn't work. She knows what I'm all about, and she knows what I need to do and where I need to go.
You thought you wanted quiet time.
I know.
In a
Well, I
way you
did.
do.
I know,
Yeah,
yes.
that's fair.
Do. Yeah.
Alex Prewitt is with us by way of introduction here. Senior writer at Sports Illustrated. I don't know what he makes of all of that. Billy and Stugotz calling Heidi a liar for not for admitting that she didn't know that he had to poop until he confessed it moments ago.
But you do agree, and you'll back me up. We need a better system.
I do
Thank you.
agree. Yes, we need phone cards that work and better than one shared.
Well, hotel cards. Phone cards haven't been around in a while.
I'm sorry, hotel cards and shared toilet spaces is no good either. Alex, thank you for being with us. We appreciate it. What did you learn from the reporting of these workouts?
You're right. Y'all need a better system.
Thank you.
No, I just came in.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of went in it. Obviously, I haven't seen a lot of the social media posts. Kind of followed his tour over the first couple stops, and I think the question was, number one, why now? Why necessarily get on the road and line up all these workouts at this particular moment in time? Not exactly sure I got a first person answer from Colin, given that he declined our interview request, but piecing it together from the 20 plus folks we talked to, I think we got a decent portrait. And, a couple other, I would say, major takeaways. One thing that stood out to me was the number of guys willing to not only turn up on short notice to these workouts, but also speak to me. We just kind of reached out haphazardly, almost like scattershot to a bunch of people. And I was kind of surprised at the volume that responded that quick. And I think in a way that spoke to people's willingness to be an ally to Colin and help him out in any way possible, whether that is just showing up and catching passes from him, whether that's doing an interview and talking about how they felt he looked on the field. So that was probably the biggest takeaway, again, from just trying to piece together kind of how this all came together and what it actually looked like once he got on the ground.
I assumed that career was over. Am I going to be wrong about that?
Oh, I don't have nearly enough power to answer that question. It certainly seems like he doesn't want it to be. He's been more public now about wanting to, I think as he puts it, just walk in the door, just get a backup role, not even a role guaranteed off the hop, just a contract to come in and try to prove himself. And now you have people like Pete Carroll, like Mark Davis saying, oh, we would give him a shot. We think he deserves a shot. And they kind of glossing over the fact that they're some of those people who are in positions of power to give him the shot. So I think it will take someone to kind of stomach the flood of bad faith criticism that's going to follow. It seems to me that maybe, I think perhaps cynically, just saying like he deserves a shot and then doing nothing else is maybe a cheap way to line yourself up behind him without actually doing anything of note. So yeah, I mean, it will take someone to offer him a job, or offer him at least a chance at a job, which we haven't seen in the 5 years since he last threw a pass.
What do you regard as the most interesting reported details in the swirl around him as he tries to come back and people finally put their name on, we'd like him back, but nobody actually tries anything? And, this has been a lot of years now. You're talking about what could be considerable rust on a position that's difficult to play.
Yeah, I think as I mentioned, probably the biggest thing that stood out for me was the people around him and the receivers coming out of the woodwork to catch passes from him, to answer their phones. One guy was like in TSA line going to a bachelor party and drops his plans, make sure he can be there. And I think again that all speaks to maybe a realization that he can't do it alone. That he needs voices. He needs people behind him. And, it's stronger in numbers almost, that if you almost reach a critical mass of people like Tyler Lockett in the NFL, like some Antoine Wesley from the Cardinals, like some of the other receivers and those quarterbacks he worked out with down in Atlanta. And not just that, I think it was pretty clear he was going to cities where, number one, they might need a quarterback, and number two, there were some pretty top-notch trainers there, whether it's like Quincy Avery working with a lot of the black quarterbacks in the league down in Atlanta, over to David Robinson and in Dallas. Again, I think it was like, despite the kind of air of spontaneity, despite the tweets of, hey, I'm coming to this next city, let's pull up. I think there was also a lot of calculation in terms of who he was going to see and the people who would be there, and what those people's presences would say about his own work.
How would you describe the scene?
The scene?
Yeah, it sounds sad to me. No matter how hopeful we try to frame it with support and everything else, a guy desperately pleading to get a workout while doing videos, it sounds sad.
Yeah, the opposite was at least what I was told, was that for a guy who has done nothing really but throw passes to his personal trainer for the last couple of years, the people who crossed his path said that there was quite a lot of joy in just being able to get back on the field, I think, and be part of that environment. And I think that's why he, in a lot of these places, stuck around for so long and just kind of hung out and chopped it up. And that's stuff that it wasn't really on film. And obviously, like, a big part of this was to document everything, was to get everything on film, not just for NFL teams if they come calling, but also just to build up social media buzz, to kind of get that momentum behind him. But I think there were also a lot of like deeply personal moments. I can't speak to like if Colin for sure felt that himself, but the people, again, who crossed his paths definitely felt that and projected that coming from him.
You're a reporter, and so perhaps your opinion is not something you feel comfortable giving here, but the way Colin Kaepernick has chosen to make his story told artfully, artistically, instead of just sitting down for interviews and telling his story, what do you make of the way that he's handling this?
I think that's why he didn't want to talk to me. Was because I wasn't on site at one of these interviews. That was the kind of sense I got from conversations with people in his camp, was that, maybe if it appeared a little more like quote unquote organic, then he would have been more into it. But there's certainly a lot of calculation, I think, in what he does. And that's, again, initially why I think we were interested in this story, was that you hadn't seen him a ton in public, and certainly not in this like kind of bam, bam, bam kind of way where he was popping up at all these cities and doing all these very public workouts. But, just step away from just his comeback attempt and look at the children's book he put out, the autopsy project he's working on. I don't think he's done a couple workouts in a couple weeks, or a workout in a couple weeks, because he's been having that his first like live session of his Know Your Rights advocacy camp. So, certainly a lot going on. And, another question I think I would have for him, if I could ask, was, if not this, then what? If a team doesn't come calling and offer you a chance to walk in that door, like, do you look at the XFL? Do you look at the USFL? Like, where there are other football leagues out there? Is that something you're interested in? I don't entirely know the answer, but if this is being framed as a chance just to get back in the game, to try to do again what you love, to have unfinished business, I certainly understand if that unfinished business for him would start and stop with an NFL offer. But I'm also curious, like, if he sees himself just playing football again, regardless.
Hey, Dan, it's Billy from the kitchen. Just quick first take update. JJ Redick has joined the show to ruin Mad Dog Wednesday. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Billy. Appreciate all your insights.
What do you make of his reasons for not speaking with you? The fact that it perhaps had to be more organic. Like, what do you make of that? How did you experience that?
I feel like that was to be expected. I didn't go in necessarily wanting or expecting, I guess, to get an interview with him, just given how few of them he's done. And I also think it was just, in the end, having, again, this like kind of critical mass of nearly 24 voices all speaking to similar experiences. I'm not sure, like a quick quote or two off a couple-minute interview, which is kind of what he did at a lot of these places. I'm not sure how well that would have like served what we were trying to do either.
Alex, thank you for being on with us. We do appreciate the time, sir.
Thank you all. Support worker-owned companies.
Alex, before you leave, quickly, are you a big football fan?
Yeah, I'm technically supposed to cover the NFL for Sports Illustrated.
Can Colin still sling it?
That's what people say. I mean,
right.
Sling it, yes. Hard passes, yes. A lot of people being surprised at how hard the ball hit him in the chest.
Wow.
One college receiver said he thought he was going to have a heart attack after he got caught off guard. But, it's all the other stuff, right? Like learning a system and moving against defenses, because all of this is on air.
No, it's all about having a cannon, man. That's it.
At least that box is checked.
Yeah.
I believe that we have arrived at what was the important and final conversation that needs to be had around Colin Kaepernick, where Stugotz asked, can he still sling it? And the expert reporting on it says that's what people say.
Well done, Alex.
We have run out of information on this subject. That should be the final word on it.
Someone was in a heart attack.
It's how the story should end right here. Can he still sling it? That's what people say, and the rest of it just dissolves into a mist.
Isn't that how the Tribe Called Quest song goes? Can I kick it? That's what people say.
Yes, you can.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you, Alex.
Bye-bye.
See you.
I could feel the audience, though, and this is no fault of his. This is our fault, and when I say our fault, I mean all of us. Everyone who can talk and everyone who can listen. And the deaf community and the mute community as well, all of us. I felt all of you. Again with Kaepernick.
Let it go.
You're reporting from a Kaepernick workout.
But he could sling it.
But that's the important question. I believe that that's where the lawsuit. If I'm the attorney representing Kaepernick, I just call witness after witness. Can he still sling it? Yes.
You call that wide receiver who said he almost had a heart attack.
All of them. I just witness after witness. I exhibit A through Z is, can he still sling it? Yes.
I just love that he just completely dispenses with the artifice of, all right, this is a very serious subject, and we're trying to figure out, why is he being secretive and all that. And then you just completely break with it. It's just, well, can he still sling the pill? Yes or no? Can he sling the pill?
That's what we want to know.
He should be in the NFL if he can sling the pill.
It was much better as a question than Stugotz's previous one, which is, why wouldn't he talk to you, Alex Prewitt of Sports Illustrated? Why wouldn't he give you...
He's picking and choosing. There's a guy out there in his workout. He wants to talk about slinging the pill.
He's not picking and choosing. He's doing no choosing.
He's done so
just
little.
His own documentary.
Yeah. No, he's picking Netflix. He's picking Nike. He's not picking anybody else. He's not picking us.
He's not picking Alex.
He's not picking Alex from Sports Illustrated. That day is gone. I remember a time 20 years ago when athletes would show up late for Sports Illustrated cover shoots, and I'm like, oh, that's how it ends. It's not an important thing I have to go to anymore. I don't care about whether I'm on the cover of Sports Illustrated, the magazine that every athlete would have died, to be honored to be on the cover of once upon a time. And now they ask, what's a magazine?
What is a magazine?
Oh, God.
And what's a phone card?
Oh, Dan.
Yeah, he already called me on the phone card.
And who's Heidi?
It's actually someone I went to college with, which is why I keep doing it.
Really?
Wait,
Yes.
you went to college with Hildy?
Not with that Hildy.
The phone card used to be a thing, Jess. You would get it at a gas station, stationery store.
It's still a thing.
Is it still a thing?
I think
Amin has stories of being in a pyramid scheme where he bought someone else's phone cards and then tried to resell them but couldn't resell them for more because other people were getting involved in the pyramid scheme. So he just lost money on selling phone cards.
I believe phone cards are still a thing, Stugotz, even as the internet and WhatsApp wipe some of that out. I believe a lot of people use it internationally.
I remember having to go out when I first started working on the show as an intern. I had to run out to the gas station and get a phone card so we can call John Amici to get him on the show. I don't think I've ever been reimbursed for those. I think there's $13 outstanding of me getting phone cards at the local 7-Eleven.
So much better than what we used to do with the interns before you, which is send them over for live reports from the Pleasure Emporium.
The That was me. I did that. I feel like that requires some context. I was associate producer at the time.
It wasn't just you though. I remember yelling at an intern who had only been on with us for a few weeks. Go in one of the booths. Yell into one of the booths and go near the gag balls. I was not doing that with you, Roy.
I think it's a ball gag.
Unsurprisingly, Billy Gill from under his desk has pulled out an international phone card. Two of them.
Of course.
He came in here from reporting on First Take to say, I think I have a phone card under my desk. I don't even want to know what's in this area.
It's crazy.
It's extraordinary.
It's got everything.
What else is in this blue book? Jesus Christ. This blue,
Careful.
2-inch binder.
These are the secrets to bring you all down.
Yeah. That's where we keep them.
What is in there, Billy?
Why do you have a phone card?
Oh,
Two phone cards.
There's 1043 the ticket letterhead.
Oh,
in
nice.
There. Why?
Nice.
We should use that
Collector's
for something.
item.
Why
Yes.
do you have this?
Why not?
Billy, are you an office hoarder? Are you
You could drop the word office.
you think Billy's just in general like that if we went through Billy's house, we'd find things, a bunch of different useless papers from 30 years ago?
No doubt.
if you want to know what happened from May 27th, this doesn't even make sense, to May 27th, 2009 to March 9th, 2010 on this show, I could tell you.
I went to my first high school dance, I believe, that year.
Wow. What?
Congratulations.
Billy, do you want to, all the stories on this show run through the prism of Jessica, where it is
Yes,
Jessica
thank you, Dan,
was
for
when
finding
those
us.
things happened?
So this is 2009, 2010, Billy?
Yeah, August 6th, 2009. Let me just take a seat here. By the way, First Take was going crazy.
What happened?
August 6th, Thursday, August 6th, 2009, from 4:45 to 5, Chris Rock interview. And then that headed into the 5 o'clock Frank Mir interview. Oh, wow, what a day. What was going on? Because at 6 to 6:15, there was a Roddy Piper interview.
What?
And at 6:15 to 6:30, there was a Will Ferrell interview. And then at 6:30, Roy's Top 10.
Wow.
What a show.
5:45 was a Star Wars line segment.
Oh, well.
Oh, 5:30 was the Funny Moments with Nature Bee segment.
Star Wars
Oh, wow.
lines.
Wait, what's Roy's
Nature
top 10?
Bee.
I want to hear
Wow.
it.
May the 4th.
5:15
Happy May the 4th, everyone.
5:15 was Hockey Pokey, whatever that
Hokey
was.
Pokey.
Oh, the Hokey
That was
Pokey.
when,
Yeah.
I think that was when Ed Belfour got tasered.
Do you have one of
Yeah.
those? Go ahead. Can we get the Ed Belfour tasing? Let's go
Then-
revisit that show. That was a hell of a show we
The
did that
show
day.
wrapped up
Scott
from
Olsen get
6:45 to 7 with the Violent Sneezer segment. So
Wow.
what a
Good
show.
Lord.
We had Chris Rock and Piper.
And Will Ferrell, it sounded
And
like.
Frank Mir.
Wow.
We are now going to go through the Hokey Pokeys and find them.
Wait, it was
because
a hockey pokey?
Ed Belfour was tasered.
Because there was a goalie pokey and a taser pokey.
Yeah, okay, we got to play all of them right now. Can we play all
What
of
is
them?
Brandon Marshall fantasy football? Because August 28th, there was 2 segments of that. Oh, and the feud was played, and Uncle Luke interview, another Roy's top
the
10.
feud.
Wow, guys. Then back-to-back interviews.
day?
Jeremy Hermida and Jason Whitlock.
Wow. Oh, my
Jeremy
God.
Cooked up
What
a special
name.
show that day.
5:55, Leroy Horde joined the show.
That can't be one show. That has to be a month of shows.
Jeremy Hermida.
Put it on the poll, please, Guillermo. Will you stop on your television every time if they're doing the final round of Family Feud?
Yes.
Will you stop?
Of course. Yep, no doubt.
Thursday, August 27th at 5:05. From 5:05 to 5:20 was B. Brian Blair. And then 5:25 to 5:30 was B. Brian Blair Fallout.
Wow.
That's a classic show.
That didn't
Yep.
go well, I guess.
That was a super.
The Fallout, Billy.
that was-
Yeah, all that is never a good sign.
Do you guys remember the Fallout? Do you remember?
No.
Well, that was all in this universe we started creating for the Iron Sheik, where he almost lost our license.
I think
and he was going directly at B. Brian Blair, so I finally tracked down B. Brian Blair for a retort. It didn't go well.
But B. Brian Blair did accuse the Iron Sheik of smoking crack in first class of an airplane.
Yes, we asked the
Yes,
Iron Sheik about
right.
that, and then we finally got down to the source of B. Brian Blair. It wasn't a stellar interview.
And then there was Fallout.
September 10th, 2009, 2 segments were done on Tila Tequila.
Wow.
Tila Tequila and Jeremy Hermita, take me back. I know what outfit I was wearing. Cargo shorts.
Oh, cargo shorts.
Or jorts.
Yeah.
And a shirt with like a skull on it.
Ed Hardy.
At least
An
one.
affliction.
Hardy.
And
At
now you
least
look like
one.
Adam Sandler.
Rhinestones, the bejeweled shirt of
I'm
some
somehow
sort.
more embarrassed of the outfit I'm presently wearing.
Let's pause now for a moment so that Mike Ryan can go through the library here and make sure if any of our hokey pokies are something that would be deeply offensive during this new time, and Ed Belfour being tased in song is something that we cannot mock. Why, Jessica?
That's the goalie pokey.
Jessica, you got
it's
so
a
Yeah,
to
the
the
goalie
joke.
pokey. Yeah, it's the goalie pokey.
Former
Yes.
Blackhawk, by the way. Ed Belfour was a Florida Panther. He got tasered. I haven't been able to listen to this entire thing,
That's
so
all
we
right. Let it
apologize.
fly. Let it fly,
Mike.
We'll take
Judge
our
it.
The
chances.
goalie pokey.
Judge us on the morals of the time.
The concept.
You play for a bad hockey team and you never make the playoffs. You're an athlete named Ed and you're 41 years old. You do the goalie pokey and Ed Belfour gets arrested. The jail smells like urine. Ed Belfour was resisting, so they shot him with the taser. Then he fell to the ground and the police pulled the goalie. You do the goalie pokey and you trade Roberto Luongo. Now you're stuck with tasered Ed Belfour. The Panthers are finally in the news. They're finally the lead story, but it's not because of hockey. Their goalie got tasered. In case you didn't hear me, I'll sing that again. The Panthers goalie got tasered. Ed Belfour got tasered. They tasered Ed Belfour. He was really, really drunk. Then they zapped him with a taser. They tasered Ed Belfour and he fell to the ground. Tasered Ed Belfour was laying on the ground.
So good.
Jessica, what happened?
It's so bad.
That's right.
That's
That's
yes,
right. That's
yes,
sort
yes.
of the
He
beauty
was
of it.
excellent at being really bad.
We wrote
Yeah.
an entire musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
show has really evolved from
Guy-
that to the
Chris,
big game
that
musical.
Chris Rockwell Farrell day. It hasn't evolved in ways that are better than that.
Guys, October 15th, 2009 was Balloon Boy Day. That's the day that the boy was in the balloon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bob Kuchenberg as well.
Yeah, Cooch was
Cooch.
on that day. Mike Ditka was on that day.
Wow.
Big
Iron
show.
Mike.
Balloon
Yeah.
Boy.
Mort was on that day.
Balloon Boy had to be like a top 5 show in y'all's like history, right?
Well, I
I can't
mean-
think of a better thing to cover on the radio than Balloon Boy.
Well, there was no hokey pokey that day, so.
Billy, you have the smile of a man looking through a fourth grade
Well, I'm
yearbook.
also just jumping around. Like, I'm not even going in order, and I'm just finding gold in some of these pages.
Tila Tequila was.
Yeah, I mean, 2 segments on Tila Tequila.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something with Sean Merriman, apparently.
Right.
Let's try one more of these random hokey pokies here just to see how bad good can be.
Don't call it a comeback, but my taser song is back. Ed Belfour is white, Fred Evans is black. You do the taser pokey and you zap a defensive tackle, and then Fred bit a cop. You heard me right, Fred Evans bit a cop. I guess he got angry when he got zapped with a taser. Dolphins D tackle, Fred Evans got tasered. Before that, he threw up in a taxi. There are lots of other Dolphins that I'd like to see get tasered. At the top of the list is CEO Joe Bailey. Seeing him tasered would be pretty funny. Jimmy Cephalo's still boring even when tasered. I don't want to get sidetracked. The song's about Fred Evans. He's the first Dolphin tasered for the 07 season. But I can't get the thought of Joe Bailey getting tasered out of my head right now.
Does that end the taser category for us? We don't have any more taser pokies, hokey pokies. We're not going to do better than Ed Belfour.
A Hawk's key was just to repeat the same line.
Well, just have ridiculous details.
Well, here we go again. Another player got tasered. This time it's Scott Olsen, so it's not really that shocking. Scott Olsen getting tasered was just a matter of time, but we'll forgive him because he's white. South Florida athletes getting tasered is happening a lot. Ed Belfour, Fred Evans, and now Scott Olsen. The cops should really taser reporters instead. Who votes for tasering Jim Barry? Scott Olsen getting tasered is not really that funny, but Tony Segredo getting tasered is really, really funny. Scott Olsen getting tasered just minimally funny, but help me, Howard getting tasered would be a riot. I have a feeling this isn't the last Taser Pokey, cause football season's starting, so the cops are charging up their tasers. Who will be the next one to get zapped with the taser? My money is on Jimmy Cephalo.
Wait a minute.
What were you objecting to?
I don't know. Just all of them being so terrible. Each one worse than the last.
You put Patino in, you take Tim Tebow out, throw Ben Roethlisberger in, and you let them all make out. You do the hanky-panky pokey, and you get them all sexed up. But Tim Tebow reads his Bible.
Genius.
Suey revelation, you shitting upstairs.
Are we putting that in there?
I'm putting it in there.
Thank you.
You gave up the jig.
I did.
Sad.
She knows. She knew.
She clearly didn't know.
Is you carrying the weight of your own guilt?
It felt like she knew.
Right. Because you know in your own head. This is like, in some ways, the selfishness and the myopia that we all have as people, that we all think that everyone's like perspective revolves around you when it does. They're just kind of going about, Hillary's just going about her day. She's not paying attention to your pooping habits.
But I'm asking for a hotel key that opens up a room that has clothing in it, and it has, like, there's no room to rest. It's not a relaxing room. There's only one thing that anyone would want to do in that room. Well,
Relax.
No, you can't relax in that room. I'm telling you.
So do you guys all poop upstairs? And this is something I'm just not privy to?
I only poop upstairs when I know that. How do I say this? When I know what the consistency might be.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't want to subject anybody else to the sights and sounds and scents.
Right.
Then I'll go to Hildy and I'll have my laptop in my arm because I'll be like, hey, I'm just going to take this upstairs.
It's a heady play.
But I'm just shitting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's strange because Stugotz doesn't strike any of us and has admitted to being a proudly noisy pooper in public restrooms. I do believe that is a source of shame, but Stugotz sinks into it and has admitted in the past that he doesn't mind being a noisy public toilet user.
I mean, I go for it.
Yeah, but that's different because that's strangers. You know, you don't have to ever see those people again. We're here, you have to see the people every day. Hill has to give him the key every time he poops. Yeah.
I mean, the other bathroom we have is a shared public bathroom, essentially. And so the one upstairs is a private bathroom.
But we're the only people who use it.
No, there's other people on the other side of the building here that use that bathroom.
Yeah,
they do. Are they all men? Because I've never seen any of them in the ladies' room.
I've bumped into.
Yeah.
I bumped into another man in there.
It's largely us, though.
No, when we worked at night, painted ladies would come out of there. Yeah. Very frequently. It was very strange.
Yeah, that's
There's
what I'm
big
saying.
feathers hitting the ceiling. It was a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how long it's been since this place has been that place? It has been a long time since there were people with body paint wearing no clothing except feathers who were wandering around here headed to use the public bathrooms with us.
So does nobody use the bathroom on this floor to poop?
I go two buildings over.
Often. You do, Woody.
Yeah.
I do. Really?
I freely admit using the bathroom on this floor. It's a bathroom.
No, I do most of the time.
Right.
Yeah.
But there are some times you just know.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to want a little
Everyone
more
else,
privacy.
though? No go?
Billy said he goes 2 buildings over.
Yeah.
Really?
No, not the garage. No, it's another hotel, but I don't tell them. They don't know. I just pretend I'm a guest.
Oh, I know the hotel.
Yeah,
That's a
Fourth
heady
floor.
place. It's a nice
shit,
bathroom.
No, I just said where it was.
Oh, man.
I want to read something to you here, Stugotz, that Stefan Marbury said about Stephen A. Smith.
Okay.
Stefan Marbury is voicing something here that some people have voiced as it relates to Stephen A. Smith and how critical he can be sometimes of black athletes. Quote, "We are witnessing one of the biggest Uncle Toms on the planet. in Stephen A. Smith. I'm starting to think Stephen A. Smith thinks he's a star for speaking the English language loud and obnoxious on TV. I truly believe he's upset that he couldn't play ball in front of 19,000 people every night, so he reverted toward targeting people who look like him, who have true intentions on earth to be real and authentic toward helping people. And Stephen A. Smith responded to the statement with, I'm not going to insult Stephon Marbury. I will say Stephon Barry has had a problem with me since 2009 because we thought he was a bit bizarre when he was eating Vaseline in the shower, literally on video like it was a bunch of cheeseburgers. It's a pretty good retort.
It's great. Not pretty good. In terms of retorts, it's perhaps one of the greatest ever.
You don't get to often point out that someone was eating Vaseline and eating it in a way that confused all of us at the time. What's going on with Stephon Marbury? Why is he eating Vaseline that way?
Well, and it shows that he's the bigger person and showed incredible restraint not to insult him when he was being insulted.
Right. He did begin that with, I'm not...
Well, he could have insulted him, but he didn't insult him.
Going to insult...
He wouldn't.
Stephon Marbury.
So you shit in the Versace mansion.
I can't say. Do you guys not have, like, in college, this was like a thing. Like, I knew exactly which building. I've talked about this before, and I don't even need to get into it. I knew which building to go to, which floor to go to, because it was just empty offices, which is what a lot of colleges seem to be, is just massive buildings with empty offices.
I am not above wandering past a hotel I'm not staying in if I have to go and pretending like I belong there.
Like you're staying there?
In order to use a clean hotel
So proud
bathroom.
of you.
You go to the bathroom, you do number 2, you eat ramen noodles, you're on your way out. Boom,
what?
done.
Wait, what? Eat
Yeah.
ramen noodles?
Yeah. Sometimes.
No, you can't.
You've never eaten while chewing?
What?
No.
What do you mean?
Ramen noodles would be quite something.
No, it's in a cup. It's a cup of noodles.
Yeah.
In your hand, you get a little fork. Done.
Eating while pooping is really, it's disgraceful.
It's killing two birds with one stone.
Exactly. If you're on a time crunch, boom, boom. 1, 2. On with the rest of your day.
I don't
seems
believe
like
you.
counterproductive endeavors.
believe
What are you talking about? It's the most efficient ever.
No.
Out with the old, in with the new.
Don't
One
believe
stop.
you. Shit particles.
No, that's not a thing.
Yes.
No, I'm not a come mierda. No.
Sharticles.
Killing two birds with one stone.
Where do you heat it up?
Yeah.
Well, you do it before you go in, obviously. I don't have a microwave in the bathroom.
'Cause
I'm not a
that would be
sicko.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Imagine walking into a bathroom like somewhere in Miami and you see Dan Le Batard walking out of a stall with like a cup of ramen noodles.
No, you finish it and then you throw it before
Right,
you're out of the
exactly. You don't
bathroom.
bring
Yeah,
it
or
out.
you
You want
crumble it
people
up
to
and
judge
flush it
you.
down the
In the
John.
toilet?
Yeah, exactly.
The styrofoam?
You break it into pieces.
That
You got to keep the train moving, Mike.
pretty sure
Mhm.
kills a turtle, at least.
No. I mean, listen. Turtle would rather eat that than what's in my poop. I'll tell you that right now.
I disagree. Yeah.
No. Eat my poop. I dare you. Eat my poop and then eat a styrofoam cup and tell me which one you prefer.
I'm not a turtle, though.
Killing two turds with one stone. Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Thank you.
Could have made it turds, but
You can't be eating ramen noodles on the toilet. I mean, it's just deeply. It's
It's
really,
not like a Snickers bar. That's uncalled for. You can't eat a Snickers bar while you're pooping
All
because it
dick-
looks the
Veins or
same.
no
Right.
veins?
all dick veins for me. Extra. Yeah. Oops, all dick veins is what I want.
That was fake, by the way, Dan. If you see that on the internet, that's not a real product that they sell now. Yeah.